We were going through this list of 72 things. The reason why the president doesn't want to explain what the extremist thing is, this is what all the press should be doing. Look, you won't say that Islamic extremism exists. So could we talk about this extremist summit? Who is on your list of extremists? Zero Hedge, which is a great website, just came out with a list of 72 documents or 72 groups that are deemed in government documents as extremists.
Mm-hmm. However, this is not a document that was compiled and said all of these people are extremists, right? This is just...
No, these are documents that say... These are documents that were compiled... These are
an official had said these guys are extreme.
Some of these documents cover several of the categories of the 72. But some, one document is from this agency, one document is from this agency, but they were compiled to say, those separate documents were to say, these are extremists, watch these people.
Right, like, here's what to look out for. For example, this document is essentially, here's what to look out for, we don't want these people in the military. And they show, like, pictures of people with, white supremacist tattoos. So a person comes in, he's got a bunch of tattoos, you might not recognize them, but there's certain tattoos that are, they identify with these white supremacist movements, and so you want to reject them because you don't want those people in the military. It's a sensible approach, right? Like, you want to
I think it's profiling myself.
It is profiling.
But if you come in and you're there for your military physical and you got a swastika on your chest, you might say,
exactly.
Okay, maybe this guy's not for us.
And I think we would all understand that, right?
Maybe this guy's not for us.
This guy's not for us.
We would all understand that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the page on religious extremism. You get to that page of this presentation. Same thing where they're showing all these tattoos.
This is going to sound reasonable.
Now look,
very reasonable. Yeah.
It is. It's very
some of the groups you might recognize. The Christian identity movement, again, is something
white power,
white power type of stuff. The Hutari movement, which was, I think they were the ones that were caught talking about killing police officers.
I knew the Otari movement, the Atari movement, where you.
That's a little different.
You
2600,
or Space Invaders.
I
was part of that movement for a good long while.
You were. I was
killed
too.
a lot of
I was
Space
part of the
Invaders.
2600, the 5600, and the 7800.
This is going to be used against you, both of you, in court of law someday.
Sure will.
You have the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the FLDS. We've talked about these guys before. They're the ones that have separated.
Terrorists?
No, they're extremists. But they're the ones that have separated have been excommunicated from the Mormon Church.
Nothing
you guys
more
know the stuff better
extreme than wanting more than one wife.
Right. Well,
Are you scary if that's your deal?
But hang on just a second.
I'm not a fan.
No,
but come on.
They're not saying.
Hang on just a second. But there have been those groups that are abusive to women, abusive to the children,
and
they immediately arm up. They immediately arm up. I
don't know that FLDS did that, did they?
Yeah, what was that one guy's name?
What was that one
guy's name?
Yeah,
he's in jail for a long time.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but there was accusations of that sort of thing going on.
But there was that one really bad guy.
Point is though, like they're not saying they're not even saying Mormons, which I'm surprised actually. They're not just saying all Mormons are extremists, but they're saying okay, here's a sect off of a religion that takes a view way out of the mainstream.
Yeah,
right?
And I would look at them and say, yeah, you might want to keep an eye on them.
Right.
If somebody comes into my office and they're interviewing for a job with me, I want somebody to notice that they're into polygamy and everything else before I say, oh yeah, come on in.
Sir, we don't have that many slots in your beneficiary form.
Yeah,
so if a guy's a polygamist, you would not hire him.
Do you have something to tell me, Pat? Because this is a disturbing...
Right.
We just want clarification.
It's illegal, right?
Clarification.
No, I don't hire a polygamist.
It's not a legal practice in the United States.
It isn't legal.
Moving on. We've got the nation of...
What is
You've got
this?
guys starring on TV shows that are on all the time. They don't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
it legal or is it illegal? I don't know.
No.
It's allowed to happen.
Right.
I used to pass polygamists in the grocery store when I lived in Sandy, Utah all the time.
Yeah.
They're
it's not one they
four
really...
women together in pioneer dress with 19 children coming behind. They're probably polygamists.
Probably.
I think that's really weird. I think it's really weird.
It happens all the time.
And
you
I'm not
the
saying
other way. They don't do a thing
what are you
about
going to do?
This is not the
what
point
are you
of
going to
do
do
about it.
But wait, hang on just a second.
I
We're
don't know
here
what
now
you're
because
gonna do.
Pat dragged us into this weird conversation.
Yes,
So let me just say
on.
this. If you know the history of this, the state of Utah actually went and tried to the first thing was, I think it was Time magazine or one of these magazines said, the weird, creepy polygamists that are there. And so the state of Utah said, you know what? It's against the law. Let's stop this. And so they went in, and Time magazine, the same magazine that was ratcheting it all up, went, and they were with the LDS church, and they were with these members with their cameras as the troopers came in and said, hey, we got to break these families up. Then Time magazine did a story about how the state is breaking up families.
Right, of course.
And so that's when the state said, you know what, I don't know. There's no win here. We can't enforce the law. We can't not enforce the law. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and quite honestly, it's one of those things. You want to live that way? Fine. I don't care. You want to abuse children and abuse women?
Then
you have to
do something about it.
But if everybody is in and they're all consenting adults, it's wrong. I don't really care.
Yes.
So, okay, moving on. We have the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, right?
Now, he's different because he is actually advocating violence.
Right, exactly. So, again, it's a mishmash of groups here, some more dangerous than others, clearly. But listen, you know these names. The Ku Klux Klan is another one on this list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dangerous violence.
Sure, we understand. Al-Qaeda. All right, you know what? Al-Qaeda, I'm going to go with that being a little dangerous. Hamas.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm going to go with it. I do not want a guy from Hamas coming in and joining the military.
Also, hummus.
Hummus is extreme.
Nasty.
I won't
like
it. I won't go there.
I like hummus, actually.
I like hummus, too.
Okay, so, actually, the official dip of the NFL is hummus.
Oh, it's nasty.
Instead of salsa. Okay, so here we go. But you go through all these groups. You understand, at least Pat has a problem apparently with the one, but overall you get the vibe here. They're offshoots of mainstream religions or offshoots that could be considered extreme, right? Another offshoot, Catholicism.
What?
Yeah.
Catholicism.
On the same list.
Same
what
list.
What do you mean?
Just Catholicism. It's just there, Catholicism.
Yeah. Catholicism is listed as an extremist group.
Religious extremism.
But wait, there's more.
Evangelical Christianity.
Oh my gosh. And this is just listed somewhere on somebody's document.
This is like how they're presenting. This is what you look for. Don't let these people in, essentially. Now that does not mean there's no evangelical Christians in the military and everyone follows this. But somebody in the government, somebody in the military, and in a leadership position to make this presentation thinks this is a good idea. And this is the problem, as Glenn was citing, with having a large government. Because there's always somebody who doesn't like a group. Somebody,
and so
there's always
this. There's always this. Look, guys, there are Christians in the military. There's Catholics in the military. That document doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Right. It's just this one guy. Yeah, I understand that. But the stronger the government gets, those one guys can find themselves in a position of power and either soft authoritarianism or full-out fascism, they can affect you, whether you're gay or Catholic.
Yeah.
God forbid you're gay and Catholic, then you're definitely on the list.
But sometimes that one guy is, I don't know, Lois Lerner.
Correct.
Who decides they really think the extremists of the Tea Party need to have a lesson taught to them.
So that's why the press should be asking, could we have a list of the extremist groups that you want to have this summit about? Who are they? Because we're all talking about, hey, come on, say that it's Islamic terror. Come on, why won't you say that it's Islamic terror? That's not the question. Who will you say is a threat?
And they won't.
And at the time,
because Martha McCallum tried to narrow that down.
I want to know who they are.
I want to know who they are. And
who are they?
He wouldn't mention who they are.
That is, you want the most
variety.
You want the most transparent. You're not going to sit around in this meeting and say, well, let's not talk about specifics.
Yeah. Let's just talk
there's
about
a variety of people. No, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. Nope. You're going to talk about the specific groups.
We have a right to know. Who are you deeming extremists?
Can I give you one more example from this list?
Yes.
There's only one example on the list. One that is not a religious group, but an anti-religious group. So most of these are like Christian identity. Okay, they think they're too Christian, quote unquote, and they are white supremacists, right? I know they're not. But that's what the accusation is, right?
Yeah.
Like you're such a militant in your religion that you've come up with some crazy translation of it, Hamas, and you are now doing things based on that. The only one that's anti a religion, Islamophobia. So if you are afraid of Islam, or as obviously every conservative on earth has been accused of being Islamophobic over the past 10 years.
No atheism?
No, that's not in there. No, none of the stuff that I mean, they do include things like Hamas, which I do appreciate. When you have a terrorist group trying to apply for the military, I would like them to not
there's
be
a
in there.
difference between people who have actually engaged. When you've actually, the Klan has actually engaged in terror.
Yeah.
That to me, you can, like for instance, the fundamentalists, the
FLDS.
yeah, those guys
polygamists,
who were polygamists. Okay, all right.
I don't think they've engaged in
Violence.
Yeah.
Now, if they have, and I think that one guy, I can't remember his
Warren
name.
Jeffs.
Warren Jeffs. He was doing really creepy stuff, and it was involving the children and the women and everything else, and that's really bad. Really bad. So that guy belongs there. But if you're just somebody who's, at the grocery store and, hey, my 3 wives are all in on it, whatever. Who are you
those
to
people
tell
go on
me
Oprah
what to do
to tell their stories.
Yeah, who are you to tell me what to do in my bedroom? I can't say anything about homosexuality. You can't say to that person about the 3 wives. You can't, or the 3 husbands. It doesn't make any sense. And as long as they're not hurting anyone in the relationship or out of the relationship, whatever. I can speak out against it. They can speak out for it. Let's move on with our lives. But once you have engaged in violence, now you're in a whole different category. I have not seen the evangelical. I've been to a lot of evangelical churches. I have not heard them speak out for violence.
No.
Have you?
Never. Nope. Quite the
So I would
opposite.
like the press to ask the question, and I would like the Blaze to further this. Who is on the extremist list? We'd like a document that shows what you're going to be talking about, who you're going to be talking about. Most transparent administration in history. We have a right to know. We're your partners. We should know who's causing trouble, what's being discussed. Doubt they would ever let any of that out.